My alien roommate went into heat. We couldn't leave during lockdown. Alex had never thought much about living with a roommate until the city lockdown began. The streets were empty, the shops only delivered groceries, and the nights were eerily quiet except for the occasional siren. The silence made Alex's small apartment feel larger than it actually was, almost too large. Bills were stacking up, and the idea of sharing rent with someone seemed like a clever way to survive the lockdown without going broke. The ad on the community board had been unusual but appealing. Room available, must be tidy, friendly, and open to different life forms. Alex laughed when reading it. Different life forms. Was it a joke? It didn't matter. At this point, Alex needed the money saved from rent and a little company. When the doorbell rang on a rainy Thursday morning, Alex opened the door and blinked. Standing there was a small creature about the height of a child, but clearly not human. Its skin shimmered faintly in shifting colors, green, blue, and a hint of orange at the tips. Two large, curious eyes studied Alex with a mix of caution and excitement. Its limbs were long and thin, almost spidery but somehow graceful. "Hi," Alex said, unsure what else to do. You must be Xylo." The creature tilted its head and emitted a melodic series of chirps and hums. Then it pointed at itself and said in broken English, "Yes, Xylo, room, new home, happy." Alex blinked again. "Oh, right, welcome Xylo, come in, come in." Xylo stepped inside carefully, examining everything. Its eyes widened at the refrigerator, the sofa, and the ceiling fan. At one point it reached out to touch the walls, then giggled, a sound like wind chimes. Alex was still processing this. "Do you eat normal food?" Alex asked nervously. Xylo smiled, showing a row of tiny, pointed teeth. "Try, learn." And that was how it started. The first few days were strange but funny. Xylo struggled with basic human activities. Showers were confusing. Xylo was fascinated by the water flow and the sudden temperature change, screaming in delight when it got too hot or too cold. The toaster became an object of intense curiosity, and the first attempt at making toast ended with a small smoke cloud that set off the apartment's alarm. Alex learned quickly that patience was a valuable skill. "It's okay, Xylo," Alex would say, waving the smoke away. "Humans are messy too. You're not alone." Despite the chaos, Alex found the alien's curiosity endearing. Xylo asked questions about everything, from the purpose of a vacuum cleaner to the meaning of TV commercials. Alex explained patiently, sometimes using drawings on a notebook to make sure Xylo understood. Xylo was a quick learner, though, and soon could operate the microwave and the washing machine without trouble. One evening, while Alex was making dinner, Xylo hovered near the stove, eyes wide. "What are you making?" Xylo asked. "Just pasta," Alex said. "Tomato sauce noodles, easy," Xylo hummed thoughtfully. "Why tomato?" "It tastes good," Alex said. "Humans like flavor." Xylo considered this. "Learn taste, yes. Humans enjoy flavor, interesting." They ate together that night, Xylo carefully using its long fingers to twirl noodles. Alex noticed small glowing patterns on Xylo's skin, especially when it laughed. It was beautiful and strange, and Alex wondered if the patterns were part of Xylo's mood or just random. A week passed, and Alex started noticing subtle changes in Xylo. The alien seemed restless. It paced around the apartment more than usual, fiddled with objects, and emitted new sounds, soft, almost musical hums that filled the empty spaces of the apartment. Alex asked if Xylo was okay. "I'm fine," Xylo replied, but the tone was different, almost nervous. One night, Alex woke to a sudden bright glow from Xylo's skin. The alien was pacing in circles, emitting long, melodic sounds that made the walls vibrate slightly. Alex sat up in bed. "Xylo, are you sick?" Xylo shook its head quickly. "No, not sick. Natural, Xylo cycle." "Happens sometimes," Alex frowned. "Cycle? What kind of cycle?" Xylo's eyes shimmered with unspoken tension. "Heat, Xylo and heat need comfort, stay together. Alex's brain scrambled. Heat, comfort, stay together. What did that even mean? Before Alex could respond, a loud knock sounded on the apartment door. Both froze. Alex hurried to peek through the peephole. It was just a neighbor, probably checking on everyone because of the strange noises. Alex exhaled, relieved. "Okay, deep breaths," Alex muttered. Xylo tilted its head, sensing the worry. "Do not panic, Alex can help." Despite the confusion, Alex nodded. "Right, okay, we'll figure it out." The next day, Alex did some research trying to understand Xylo's biology. Not much helped. There were barely any reports of Xylo's species on Earth. Everything pointed to them being highly emotional and reactive during certain cycles. Alex realized that this was just a natural part of Xylo's life, and the best they could do was provide comfort, space, and patience. That morning, Alex made a small list of heat-friendly adjustments. Separate sleeping arrangements. Xylo could stay in the living room with blankets. Cooling devices, fans, ice packs, and a spray bottle for hydration. Quiet activities, books, drawing, or gentle music. Snacks. Xylo seemed to like sweet, cold things. Xylo watched with curiosity as Alex arranged the apartment. "Humans, creative," it said. "Help them make Xylo calm." Alex smiled. "Humans survive by being creative, Xylo. We can handle almost anything." It was strange to think that a human's greatest strengths, problem-solving, empathy, and patience, were now being tested in a very unusual way. And Alex was determined not to fail. Over the next few days, life in the apartment became a delicate routine. Xylo's heat cycles caused random bursts of glowing, humming, and restlessness. Alex adjusted, learned how to distract Xylo with games, reading, and even gentle holographic projections. Xylo showed them how to make. They laughed together, worked together, and somehow found a rhythm. One afternoon, Alex brought out a notebook. "Xylo, let's make a schedule. That way we both know what to expect." Xylo's eyes sparkled. "Yes, helpful." They created a schedule for meals, activities, and quiet periods. Alex even added breaks for deep breathing exercises, which Xylo mimicked in a way that made Alex chuckle. Through all the chaos, Alex realized something important. Humanity was more than just survival instincts or technology. Humans could adapt, empathize, and make life better for others, even beings from another world. And maybe, just maybe, humans were better at surviving unusual situations than anyone else in the universe. By the end of the week, Alex and Xylo had settled into a strange but comforting routine. Xylo's cycles were unpredictable, but Alex had learned to read the subtle cues, glows, hums, and pacing. The alien's humor and curiosity made the apartment feel alive again, even during a city lockdown that kept everyone inside. Alex paused one evening, watching Xylo chase a small holographic light across the living room. "You know," Alex said softly, "I didn't think having an alien roommate would be like this, but I'm glad you're here." Xylo stopped, head tilted. Alex glad together, humans strong. Xylo learn from humans. Alex smiled, a warm feeling spreading. "And humans learn from aliens too, I guess." As the night settled in, the city outside remained quiet. Inside, laughter, hums, and the faint glow of Xylo's skin filled the apartment. The strange, unpredictable life of living with an alien had begun, and Alex was ready for whatever came next. Little did Alex know, Xylo's heat cycle was only the beginning. Lockdown meant they couldn't leave, and the next phase of challenges would test human ingenuity and patience like never before. The morning sun slipped through the blinds, painting Alex's apartment with golden streaks. Normally, mornings were quiet and calm. Today, however, the quiet was shattered by a strange, melodic humming that echoed through the rooms. Alex groaned and rubbed their eyes. Xylo was pacing the living room, glowing patterns flickering across its skin like a living neon sign. The hums were longer now, almost like a song, but wild and unpredictable. It was obvious Xylo's heat cycle had begun in full force. Alex sat on the edge of the bed, notebook in hand. "Okay," they muttered. "We talked about this. You need comfort, I need survival. Let's make a plan." Xylo tilted its head and hummed, like it understood some of the words but not all. Its glow intensified as it stretched its long limbs, pacing faster. Alex realized the quiet routine of the previous week would not be enough this time. The first challenge came with breakfast. Xylo hovered near the kitchen counter, eyes darting at every movement. Alex was attempting to make toast while also preparing some cold fruit, as Xylo seemed drawn to anything icy. "Easy, slow, steady," Alex said, trying not to panic. But Xylo was already batting a piece of toast out of Alex's hand with its long fingers. It giggled, a sound that almost resembled wind chimes, and twirled around the counter. "Okay, okay," Alex laughed, dodging. "I see you want the ice fruit first." They handed Xylo a small bowl of cubed melon, and for a moment peace returned. Xylo hummed happily, nibbling carefully, but the calm was short-lived. Next came the pacing. Xylo's long legs carried it in circles around the apartment at a speed that made Alex dizzy just watching. Alex tried leading it to the living room for some quiet time, but Xylo was uninterested. Instead, it jumped onto the sofa, then back to the floor, glowing brighter with each movement. Alex sighed. "You really are full of energy. Humans don't have this stamina." Xylo chirped proudly, then wobbled slightly. Alex noticed something new. The alien's patterns were shifting faster, almost like a warning signal. Clearly, Xylo was starting to feel overwhelmed. Alex decided a new strategy was needed, distraction and comfort combined. First, they set up the small fan by the sofa and made a little cooling zone with blankets and pillows. Xylo paused long enough to examine it. Alex carefully pointed at the fan. "Breeze, cold, help you calm." Xylo hummed and stepped inside the zone. The glow dimmed slightly, and Alex breathed a sigh of relief. It was a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. Next, Alex turned to entertainment. They grabbed a notebook and a pen, sketching simple holographic shapes in the air using Xylo's instructions from previous days. Xylo's eyes sparkled, and it reached out with delicate fingers to tweak the shapes, creating swirling patterns that danced above the sofa. Alex realized that even in the middle of chaos, creativity could calm both human and alien alike. "See," Alex said, smiling. "We can turn chaos into art." Xylo chirped in agreement, or at least that was the closest Alex could interpret. Its glow now pulsed gently, like it was satisfied with the activity. By midday, Alex was exhausted but determined. Xylo's cycles seemed unpredictable, and every few minutes the alien would emit strange sounds, pace around, or suddenly throw itself onto a blanket with a contented sigh. Alex tried not to overthink it, focusing instead on what they could control. Lunch was another challenge. Xylo had become obsessed with experimenting with flavors, something Alex had noticed last week. Today, it was citrus fruits and cold yogurt. Every time Alex brought a plate of food, Xylo swatted it around, tasting randomly and giggling at every new flavor combination. Alex laughed despite the chaos. "You really are something else," Alex said, shaking their head. "Humans might eat fast food every day, but you make it an adventure." Xylo responded with a loud, melodic hum that filled the apartment, almost like applause. The afternoon brought a new problem: noise complaints. The lockdown rules were strict and the neighbors were unusually quiet, or unusually alert. Alex wasn't sure which. Xylo's glowing and humming patterns had grown louder and more rhythmic, filling the apartment with a strange, beautiful energy. Alex ran to the window, peeking out. The neighbor's blinds remained closed, but a shadow moved. Someone was listening. Panic shot through Alex. "Xylo, quiet maybe," Alex whispered. Xylo paused and tilted its head. "Quiet, yes," Alex nodded, guiding Xylo to the pillows and fan again. "Let's do a quiet activity, draw patterns, read something calm." Xylo hesitated, then carefully sat down. Alex handed over the notebook and the alien began sketching glowing shapes with a delicate finger. The soft humming continued, but quieter now. Alex smiled. Humans had the ability to adapt quickly. They had to. As evening fell, Alex discovered something unexpected. Xylo's glow was changing again, this time showing softer, warmer patterns. It seemed to be responding to Alex's presence, the routine, and the small acts of care. Alex realized that, despite the alien's chaotic biology, patience and empathy were powerful tools. Alex grabbed a blanket and gently draped it over Xylo's shoulders. "You see, humans, we learn fast. We figure things out. You're not alone." Xylo looked up with large, glimmering eyes. A melodic sound escaped its throat, and Alex felt a strange warmth in their chest. Xylo was grateful. That night, after some coaxing, Xylo finally settled in the living room on a pile of blankets, the fan blowing gently over it. Alex sat nearby, notebook closed, tired but satisfied. "You know," Alex said quietly, "humans survive in weird situations because we care. We figure out problems, and we make life better for those around us, even aliens." Xylo hummed in agreement, eyes slowly closing. The glow dimmed, soft and gentle now, like a nightlight. Alex watched, realizing that this experience was teaching them something important. Humans were adaptable, creative, and empathetic in ways even an alien could appreciate. Late in the night, the apartment was quiet. Alex lay in bed, reflecting on the day. The chaos, the laughter, the unexpected lessons. It had been exhausting but exhilarating. Xylo's heat cycle was not something Alex had anticipated, but the way they handled it proved something fundamental about humanity. Even in a city locked down by mysterious events, humans could find solutions. They could think, adapt, and show compassion. They could survive and even thrive in the strangest of situations. And perhaps, Alex thought with a small smile, that was exactly why humans had such a reputation in the galaxy. A soft humming from the living room broke Alex's thoughts. Xylo was still awake, tracing glowing patterns in the air. Alex chuckled. "Tomorrow is another day. And we'll handle it like humans do, with creativity, with patience, and with a little bit of chaos." The first full cycle of Xylo's heat had begun and ended without incident, sort of. Alex realized it wasn't about avoiding chaos. It was about embracing it, learning from it, and finding humor in it. And in that small apartment during a citywide lockdown, humanity was proving itself. One weird, glowing, humming alien at a time. By the third week of lockdown, Alex had settled into an unusual rhythm with Xylo. The apartment had become a small ecosystem of glowing lights, strange hums, and careful routines. Life with an alien roommate was chaotic, but it had also become strangely comforting. Alex sat at the kitchen table, sipping a mug of lukewarm coffee, and watched Xylo tracing glowing patterns across the ceiling with long, delicate fingers. The alien's glow pulsed softly, a mesmerizing rhythm that made the room feel alive. "You know," Alex said thoughtfully, "I didn't expect to learn so much about patience living with a roommate, and not just any roommate, an alien one." Xylo tilted its head, blinking slowly. "Patience, yes, humans good teachers." Alex smiled, the sound of Xylo's voice still strange but becoming familiar. "And I've learned a few things from you too, Xylo, like how to see the little details, even in chaos." That morning, Xylo's heat cycle began again, but this time it was milder. Alex noticed subtle cues, tiny flares of color on Xylo's skin, a slightly faster hum, a little pacing. It was a small improvement, but Alex realized that they had begun to understand Xylo's moods, even without words. Alex decided it was time for some creative bonding activities to help Xylo cope. They pulled out a sketchbook and markers, sitting cross-legged on the floor. "Okay, Xylo," Alex said, "let's try something fun today. We'll draw together." Xylo's large eyes sparkled with curiosity. It hovered over the paper, using its long fingers to draw shapes that glowed faintly. Alex drew next to it, copying some of the shapes and adding new ones. Soon, the living room was covered in colorful, glowing patterns, overlapping in a chaotic but beautiful design. "This is amazing," Alex said, stepping back to admire their work. "It's like we made our own universe." Xylo hummed softly, clearly pleased. "Universe, yes, humans creative." As the day went on, Alex noticed Xylo trying new behaviors. It would pause mid-pacing, staring at Alex as if trying to communicate something important. Alex watched carefully, remembering the lessons of patience and observation from the past weeks. "Xylo," Alex said gently, "I think you're learning how to control some of this energy." "Right," Xylo paused, then nodded slightly. The glow on its skin shifted, almost like a smile. Alex realized this was a breakthrough. The alien was beginning to understand that Alex could help, and that routines could make the heat cycles less overwhelming. Lunch was an experiment in taste and comfort. Xylo had developed a preference for cold, tangy foods. Alex prepared a small salad with fruits and a yogurt dressing, carefully chopping each piece to make it easy for Xylo to eat. Xylo hovered nearby, humming softly. It tasted a piece, paused, and then chirped happily. Alex laughed. "See, humans know how to make even the strangest foods enjoyable." Xylo's glow brightened, pulsing gently in time with its hums. Alex felt a sense of pride. Humanity had a way of solving problems, adapting, and making life better, even for someone from another planet. The afternoon brought more bonding. Alex set up a small puzzle game on the coffee table, a human board game they had modified for Xylo's long fingers and glowing skin. Xylo's eyes lit up with excitement. "Puzzle play?" it asked. Alex nodded. "Yes, it's like chess but easier. We have to think ahead and work together." They spent hours moving pieces, laughing when mistakes happened and celebrating small victories. Xylo's heat cycle made it slightly impatient at times, but the game kept it focused and calm. Alex realized that distraction, creativity, and patience were powerful tools for managing the chaos. As evening approached, Alex noticed Xylo staring at the window. Outside, the city was still quiet, almost like a paused world. Alex joined it at the sill, curious about what the alien was thinking. "Do you miss home?" Alex asked cautiously. Xylo's glow dimmed slightly and it let out a low hum. "Home, yes. Strange, human good." "Learn, enjoy." Alex nodded, understanding. Xylo was adapting, but the alien still missed its planet. Alex felt a surge of empathy. They had never traveled beyond Earth, but they understood the longing for familiarity. "Humans good at making new homes," Alex said softly. "Even in strange situations." Xylo's hum became a melodic agreement and Alex smiled. They were learning from each other, sharing resilience, humor, and understanding. Later that night, Alex decided to try a new experiment, communication beyond words. Using colored lights from their phone, they projected patterns onto the ceiling. Xylo's skin responded, glowing brighter when colors matched, dimming when they clashed. "It's like our own language," Alex said, fascinated. "We don't need words to understand each other." Xylo hovered closer, tentatively touching Alex's hand. The glow shifted, softer and warmer. Alex felt a strange sense of connection, not just as a human helping an alien, but as two beings learning from each other. They spent the night creating light patterns, discovering new rhythms and laughing at mistakes. Alex realized something important. Humanity's strength was not just in technology or survival instincts, but in empathy, creativity, and the willingness to learn from anyone, even a being from another world. By the end of the third week, the apartment had transformed. The walls were dotted with glowing sketches, the furniture arranged to accommodate Xylo's cycles, and Alex had developed a rhythm of care and patience. They even found ways to make the alien's heat cycle enjoyable: cold snacks, light games, and soothing sounds that calmed Xylo's restlessness. Alex reflected on the lessons learned. Humans were problem solvers. They could adapt to almost any situation. They could find humor in chaos, beauty in oddity, and connection in unexpected places. Even an alien heat cycle couldn't break that spirit. Xylo, for its part, seemed more relaxed. The glowing patterns on its skin had become softer, warmer, and more expressive. The alien chirped happily as Alex showed it a new sketch technique, demonstrating how humans could turn even difficult moments into creative opportunities. As the night deepened, the two roommates sat together on the sofa, exhausted but content. Alex glanced at Xylo, watching the gentle pulses of color across its skin. "You know, Xylo," Alex said quietly, "I think humans have something special. We might not be the strongest or the fastest or the most powerful, but we can adapt, we can learn, and we can care. Even for someone from another planet." Xylo tilted its head, glowing softly. "Alex, humans strong. Xylo learn from humans." Alex chuckled. "And humans learn from aliens too. Looks like we're both lucky." The glow dimmed further as Xylo curled up on the sofa, humming quietly. Alex leaned back, thinking about the past few weeks. Lockdown had trapped them inside, but it had also created a space for connection, understanding, and creativity. Even in a small apartment during a city-wide lockdown, humanity had proven its ingenuity and its heart. By the next morning, Alex knew they were ready for whatever came next. Xylo's heat cycle was not over, and new challenges were inevitable. But they had discovered something essential. Humans were capable of more than they realized. Humor, patience, creativity, empathy. These were the tools that allowed humans to thrive, even in the most unusual circumstances. Alex smiled at the rising sun, feeling a sense of pride. They had survived chaos, learned a new form of communication, and built a bond with an alien roommate. Humanity, after all, wasn't just about survival. It was about finding light in the darkest, strangest, and most unexpected situations. Xylo stirred, glowing faintly in response to the sun, and Alex laughed. "Ready for another day," the alien chirped, hopping off the sofa, its patterns glowing with excitement. "Yes, learn, play, enjoy." Alex shook their head with a grin. "All right, then. Let's show you just how strong humans can be." And so, life continued. Strange, glowing, chaotic, but filled with discovery, laughter, and the quiet triumph of human ingenuity. Alex knew the final week of Xylo's cycle would test their creativity and patience even further, but they were ready. Humans always were. The final week of Xylo's heat cycle had arrived, and the apartment buzzed with quiet tension. Alex had grown accustomed to the strange rhythms of glowing lights, melodic hums, and occasional bursts of chaos. Yet, even with all the practice, nothing could fully prepare a human for the unpredictability of an alien heat cycle. Alex poured a cup of coffee and watched Xylo hover near the window, patterns on its skin shifting in complex, vibrant sequences. The alien's movements were faster, more restless than usual, but Alex noticed subtle differences. They weren't frantic, they were deliberate. Xylo was learning. "All right," Alex said aloud, trying to sound confident. "One last week, we've got this." Xylo tilted its head, glimmering faintly. "Yes, last, learn together." The morning began with the usual chaos. Xylo darted around the apartment, humming in a faster, almost musical rhythm. Alex grabbed a notebook and markers, ready to create new activities. Today, they would combine creativity and comfort, two human strengths that had helped them survive the previous cycles. "Look," Alex said, holding up a sheet of paper, "let's make a story together. We each add a part and it can be about anything: adventure, friendship, aliens." Xylo's eyes sparkled and it floated closer, reaching out with a long, delicate finger. Its glow matched the excitement in its hum. Alex smiled. "Good. Humans learn from aliens, aliens learn from humans. Now we make a story together." The afternoon passed with laughter, creativity, and careful observation. Alex guided Xylo, showing how to draw expressive patterns that told a story without words. Xylo responded eagerly, glowing brighter with each new sequence. Alex realized that even in chaos, humans could create harmony. Lunchtime brought a new challenge. Xylo had developed an unpredictable appetite. One moment it wanted fruit, the next it demanded something completely unknown. Alex improvised, mixing safe, cold foods in small portions to keep Xylo satisfied. Xylo hovered near the counter, humming and glancing at Alex. "Try new flavors," Alex laughed. "Why not? Humans are experimental eaters." They placed a small bowl of melon, yogurt, and a touch of honey in front of Xylo. The alien carefully sampled it, paused, and then made a soft, delighted hum. Alex smiled. "See, humans always find a way to make things work." The afternoon brought an unexpected twist. A faint knock echoed through the apartment door. Alex froze. Lockdown rules were strict. Neighbors were not allowed to check on anyone unless it was urgent. They peeked through the peephole and saw a building security officer, clipboard in hand. Alex's heart raced. Xylo's glowing and humming had been louder than usual. Could someone have reported the strange activity? Taking a deep breath, Alex opened the door. "Hello, yes." The officer raised an eyebrow. "We received a noise complaint. Is everything all right in here?" Alex smiled nervously. "Oh yes, everything is fine, just an alien roommate adjusting to human life." The officer blinked. "Alien roommate?" Alex nodded, gesturing to Xylo, who floated nearby, glowing softly. "Yes, they're new and this is their heat cycle. Nothing dangerous, just unusual biology." The officer paused, clearly trying to process the information. Alex continued, calmly and confidently explaining Xylo's behavior, the routines they had established, and the precautions taken. Xylo remained quiet, watching Alex with glowing, curious eyes. Finally, the officer shook his head, a small smile forming. "Well, that's unique. As long as no one's in danger, I suppose it's fine. Just keep it down, all right?" Alex breathed a sigh of relief. "Of course, thank you." As the door closed, Alex glanced at Xylo. "See, humans handle crises too," Xylo hummed, brightening. "Alex clever, humans strong." That evening, Alex decided to celebrate the progress. Xylo had survived another heat cycle, and the apartment had become a space of creativity, understanding, and friendship. Alex set up the living room with blankets, fans, and small glowing decorations to create a calming atmosphere. "Tonight," Alex said, "we relax. Humans celebrate survival. Aliens learn to enjoy comfort." Xylo twirled around with excitement, then settled onto a soft blanket. Alex handed it a small sketchbook. "Draw anything you like. No rules, just fun." The alien's glow shifted through colors as it traced patterns in the notebook, creating shapes that seemed alive. Alex joined in, adding their own sketches and laughing when mistakes happened. For the first time, the heat cycle didn't feel like chaos. It felt like collaboration, learning, and shared joy. As night fell, the apartment became quiet, the only light coming from Xylo's soft glow and the faint city lights outside. Alex sat on the sofa, exhausted but satisfied, reflecting on the past weeks. Lockdown had trapped them inside, yet it had also provided the opportunity for discovery. Alex realized that humans were more than just survivors. They were innovators, problem solvers, and caregivers. Even in the face of an alien heat cycle, a small, glowing creature with unusual habits, humans could adapt, create, and thrive. Xylo stirred beside Alex, glowing softly, and reached out to touch Alex's hand. The warmth of the connection was unmistakable. "Alex, humans, good." "Xylo learn happy," the alien said in its melodic voice. Alex chuckled softly. "And humans learn from aliens too. We've both grown, Xylo." The alien hummed, curling up on the blanket, and Alex leaned back, feeling a sense of calm and accomplishment. The next morning, the city's lockdown rules were relaxed slightly. For the first time in weeks, people could leave their apartments for short walks. Alex looked at Xylo, who hovered near the window, watching the world outside. "Soon," Alex said, We'll get to see outside again. Humans thrive on challenges, and so do aliens. Xylo tilted its head, glowing brightly. Learn, explore together, Alex smiled. Exactly, together. Even though the heat cycle had been unpredictable and challenging, it had created a bond stronger than either of them expected. Alex realized that life wasn't just about surviving difficult situations. It was about understanding, connecting, and creating joy in the middle of chaos. The days that followed were filled with small adventures. Alex showed Xylo the human ways of enjoying simple things. Making tea, listening to music, reading stories, and even taking a careful walk outside in the brief moments allowed by the relaxed lockdown rules. Xylo was fascinated by every new experience, glowing brighter with excitement at each discovery. Alex watched, amazed at the alien's curiosity and adaptability. And in turn, Xylo had taught Alex patience, observation, and a new appreciation for the unexpected. They were both learning from each other, proving that connection and understanding could bridge even the vastest gaps in species, culture, and experience. Finally, one evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Alex and Xylo sat together in the apartment, watching the city lights flicker on. The glow from Xylo's skin blended with the soft orange of the sunset, creating a warm, magical atmosphere. "You know, Xylo," Alex said softly, "I think we make a pretty good team. Humans can adapt, we can survive, but more than that, we can care, and that makes all the difference." Xylo's glow pulsed gently in agreement. "Alex, humans strong, Xylo grateful." Alex laughed quietly. "And aliens are pretty amazing too. You've taught me a lot." Xylo chirped happily, spinning in place and sending sparks of soft light across the walls. The apartment was no longer just a place to survive. It was a place of learning, friendship, and mutual respect. By the end of the week, Xylo's heat cycle had ended, and the alien's behavior returned to normal. Alex felt a sense of relief, but also a twinge of nostalgia. The chaos, the glowing patterns, the hums, and the laughter had become part of their daily life. Alex reflected on the experience, realizing that humanity's strength was not in domination or power, but in ingenuity, empathy, and resilience. Even in the most unexpected and challenging situations, humans could create order from chaos, find joy in difficulties, and build bonds across differences, even interstellar ones. Xylo floated nearby, content and glowing softly. Alex smiled. "We did it, Xylo. We survived. We learned and we became friends." The alien hummed, curling up on a soft blanket. "Alex, humans clever. Xylo, happy together." Alex leaned back, exhausted but satisfied, looking around the apartment filled with glowing sketches, scattered notebooks, and soft blankets. Lockdown had brought unexpected challenges, but it had also revealed the best of humanity: creativity, patience, adaptability, and the ability to connect, even with beings from another world. Outside, the city continued its slow, quiet rhythm. Inside, laughter, soft hums, and glowing lights filled the small apartment. And in that moment, Alex realized something profound. No matter the challenge, humans always found a way to thrive, and sometimes that strength could teach even aliens a thing or two.